beloveds. Welcome to a commentary channel. My name is Jem, psychic medium, author of over 20 books available on Amazon, also available as ebooks. I'm a channeler and a truth seeker. I'm also a widow and on a pension, and I don't get a lot of money, so I don't have money to market my books. So over the next few days and next few weeks, I'm going to kind of do advertising for my own books and read some excerpts from different books, as well as do normal uploads of other content. Now, back to my sociology book. I'm sorry for the format. Originally, this book was published by Exibris in 2015. That book, when it was published, looked something like that, but in blue. But I took my author rights back because I wasn't getting any money. In fact, I barely make $5 a year off my books. And because of how Exibris had formatted my books, I had to make it into this oversized kind of book. Sorry. Anyway, I randomly opened it up to chapter 7, titled The Power of Money. Now remember, I wrote this book. I've studied at university for over 35 years. I've got postgraduate degrees. But in my undergraduate Bachelor of Arts, sociology was one of my majors. And it shouldn't have been. It should have been psychology. I studied psychology at another university, got distinctions. I didn't understand sociology. Lucky I scraped through. So I decided to write my own book. So I wrote this actually around the year 1989, 1987, but I didn't publish it till 2020 when I learned of Kindle. Kindle offers an author, you can publish stuff for free. The only time you get charged is if a person buys your book and then they just take out the printing costs. So let's get back to chapter 7, The Power of Money. Western and modernized societies are structured around money. To be able to survive in these societies, money is necessary. We work for money, use money to buy food, clothing, shelter, entertainment, etc. Money pays the bills and buys luxuries. In fact, the more money you have, it seems the more importance, power, and esteem from others you also inherit. Most people would aspire to be rich. Money seems that necessary and possesses such magical qualities that criminals steal it and even kill to own a large quantity. But what actually is money? The raw materials are often paper, copper, or some other metal or alloys. Does this in this form already have a given value? No. Money only becomes money after being stamped with some form of label, and when we believe in its power, its spending and buying powers. Money only becomes money and of any worth after certain attributes have been added to the raw material. We could have chosen leaves and nominated them as money. Money allows us as a society to barter, buy, sell, trade, and bargain. The love of money is a necessary evil is quite a famous proverb. Money and crime are well linked and researched. The so-called sickness in our society could be linked to money, or more accurately, to greed. The proverb makes a good sociological theory worthy of further investigation. From the concept of power of money, classes in society are formed, such as a capitalist society, etc. For a more thorough treatise on classes and class structure, consult a book that deals with the subject. Marxism is one such topic. The divisions in society are a direct consequences of the power of money. The power of money is sustained because our belief in its power and value. For example, if a man threw away a lot of $50 bills, we would label him mad because we would think, what a waste of money, seeing it is such a lot of money just to idly throw away. Money has great value in our eyes, for if it did not, we would be throwing money away too, like that man, seeing them as useless pieces of paper. In fact, all those $50 bills are paper. Where some authority like money banks, another unit or structure we created, have printed $50 on them, and voila, they are now worth $50. Money then is a virtual basic unit of our society and is created by us, and its existence is sustained by us in our belief in its independent reality. As soon as these material objects no longer have meaning or significance for us, they then cease to exist, and the structures of the social world begins to crumble. Therefore, one area of sociology could concentrate or focus on the symbolic meaning of money and its relationship to the social agents, us. The point can be illustrated by the following example. Mrs. B is a housewife, mother, and is employed on a casual basis. She clothes herself, lives in a house, drives a car, earns and spends money. Each of these things has meaning for her. She believes in their solidarity and uses that to project an image she can relate and make sense of. She uses these tools to survive and participate in society. If she suddenly stopped doing the normal things of her everyday life, they would have no longer any meaning or value for her. Thus, for her, they would cease to exist. Money is only money because we nominated it as such and gave it the necessary attributes of money. In conclusion, therefore, money and other interpersonal/personal objects have now become subject to our personal meanings and have been given attributes and values on which we base our society. Our beliefs have created and sustained their existence. I will go on to find a random another chapter. Where it lands on is what we get reading. Chapter 9, Mental Illness. Mental illness is described by others as abnormal thinking and or abnormal behavior. It may be self-induced, as from drugs, or it may be faulty brain mechanisms, chemical imbalance, maybe as a result of bad nurturing or genetical or whatever reason. Mental illness is regarded as deviancy and means that an abnormal mind is dealing with society or vice versa. When mental illness becomes a serious problem, that patient/or criminal is institutionalized as he is perceived as a danger to themselves or to others or society. The abnormal mind can no longer be programmed into socializing. These people are seen to be living in unreality. And then I've got in brackets, yet what about our geniuses and our charismatic leaders? I would theorize to believe in a social world's real existence is living in unreality, and perhaps the mentally ill are ourselves acceptable, passive, social beings. Who knows? Perhaps the perceived mentally ill actually perceive real reality. For them, society and its associated functions and meanings have lost their value, significance, and reality. Then mental illness is just a label. Some religions view mental illness as demon-induced. They believe the cause to be spiritual. Thus, spiritual beings, in brackets evil, have thrown a spanner in the works of programming the individual into being an acceptable member of society. Some religion is seeking enlightenment and focusing on the spiritual realm, in brackets, since that is the belief where we all go after death. Why then are exorcisms used and prayer for the lost soul, in brackets, mentally ill? Doesn't the mentally ill person perceive the social world as not real, thanks to the assistance of the spiritual world, in brackets, if indeed demons exist in that level? Simply put, religious people also view the social world as real, and that demons screw up the structures and behaviors of human beings. Maybe it is society that is the real demons. Many people who have been brought up in a dysfunctional families, in brackets abusive, alcoholic, etc., suffer problems and experience crises in adult life, and many are labelled mentally ill. To adjust and become normal, therapy is often sought. Therefore, it is this dysfunction in our nurturing that has roots in our adult dysfunction. This shows the importance of a functioning family unit in today's society. It shows that the programming and education begins in childhood. And just chapter 10, methods of how society is run. Simplistically, society is run on power and control. In brackets, for abuse and corruption, please consult that chapter. There are many levels of power structures in society, from basic to complicated. Usually, by consensus, power is given to this structure to control and govern the social world. At the very basic level, we have control and power over ourselves. We can control our inner reality by stimulus and response. This in turn governs our participation in the social world and our perceptions. When we become involved in a relationship, power and control can become unequal. And I'll stop it there, but I gave examples of control and power mechanisms further down in the page. For example, teachers control students, parents control children, money controls our lives and living standards, banks control money. And the last line of this chapter says, other factors outside our social creation can also exert power and influence over us. Things such as weather, climate, disasters, and so on. So I didn't complete the reading of chapter 10, didn't want this video to go for too long. So I've read a few chapters there, money, mental illness, and some of methods on how society is run. I hope you enjoyed that, and I won't be reading any more from this book. I've read quite a bit. If you're interested, it's available at Amazon, also as an ebook. The ebooks are much cheaper. Again, thank you for watching. Take care of each other and of yourselves. Love, light, and blessings. Good night.